percent of everything.
But let me, you man, come here for a minute.
Do you want to explain?
Let me explain, yeah. Brother,
Partner itself,
can
yeah?
I come in just for a sec, right? Let's discuss a new topic, right? Basically,
Sidelines, you know.
yeah, basically,
I don't know what I'm about to
no,
say, you know.
because what I'm saying is,
I really want to
they're-
use that with my presence.
overweight EC3s, I'm trying to set something up where black people sit around the chairs, right, and discuss solutions to topics, right? Next week we're trying to set up a discussion over partners and banking. Brother Yaya, I came a few weeks ago, he's been talking about it quite strongly. He's been ringing me saying he wants to have a discussion about it, and he's got a documentation that he's put out about the values and benefits of this concept, and also he has an idea. I don't want to give away his stuff because he's written it down. But it's basically about black people finding other black people to bring a small amount in to like a collective for a particular purpose.
Yo,
right?
who's this guy? You talk to him. Guy sounds like he's still my idea.
Yeah. Have you not seen him? Have you not seen him, bro? He's
He's
a very passionate brother.
week before, innit?
Yeah, week before. But he says he's going to come next week. But I want to get a circle of black people to talk about this. But the goal is when we sit around this circle, it's construction based. Now, hopefully, we can get a theme going where every week we have a topic that we discuss that's benefit for black people. We sit around and talk about it, right? So that's the idea. So, like I said, hold that fire to my feet, right? Make sure we do this and make sure you guys are there. And we want the most constructive black people who come to the park around that place, as long as IC3 doesn't mind, yeah, talking about these things.
What time?
Well, that's why we need to discuss. We need to find out what is the best time, yeah, to have a solution circle where black people sit around for an hour, half an hour, whatever it might be, to just a particular purpose, a point, but we try to find, we try to draw out. So obviously, everyone can actually come. Like, next week I want to discuss this. We want the best minds there, right? So, but I bring this out because I think this is what we actually need in Speaker's Corner, right? And obviously, brother's now experimenting with a two-camera thing, trying to make it look even more glamorous than that. Yeah.
What's your expertise
This for him
in economics?
I'm not too sure. This is the thing, yeah. But what I'm saying is, he's going to bring something. So the funny thing is, he might not necessarily be the most qualified, but he might spark the mind who is qualified to come down and go, okay, I want to take a part two now. Do you know what I mean? I'm looking to bring financial people in because I think financial literacy is important. Yeah. So I'm looking to bring that down.
Is it going to be more theoretical talking, or is it actually going to be like talking about implementation?
Well, that's the thing. Because it's a solution circle, depends on where you want to bring it. But one thing, the main thing I'm trying to do is set a theme going where black people are talking, right? But also to collectively train us how to conduct ourselves when we're talking about stuff. To not be overcome with anxiety or to be emotionally led. That's my.
I think that's a huge undertaking.
Yeah.
It's a huge undertaking.
Well, that's why you have to have a plan, right? And my plan, by setting it over there and having a rule set and having everyone have a gentleman and gentlewoman's agreement of if someone becomes enthralled with anxiety, collectively we can ask them to take a walk, and then someone can take their place while they're down. So the primary goal for me is to have black people talking about solutions. The secondary is to train black people how to communicate without succumb to anxiety. That's
Also, on the thing of talking, it's like, so for me personally, I am in the process of setting up like an organisation, which I've been doing for quite a while. And coming down to Speaker's Corner, what it does in regards to the talking thing is, it does allow you to start identifying people, do you know what I mean? So just say, for example, you have this idea, or if he has an idea that he wants to do. Personally, for me, I wouldn't talk about my ideas full-time on camera until I'm ready to go ahead with them. What I would do is, in a conversation with somebody, I'll identify what their beliefs are, what their thing is. And off camera, we can start talking, trade numbers, and maybe build from there, do you know what I mean? So I would say it's probably best to use it for that, rather than talk about your full details of your plan.
There's some ideas that actually are community-led. So if you're talking about a partner scheme, then that is like you want as many people as possible who are constructive on the idea. Some ideas are probably a bit more top secret, like I've got this new fashion thing.
I think it's also about business structure, though.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Business structure, because I think that sometimes your USP is down in your business structure in itself.
Yeah.
So you don't want to, you just don't want to give away your USP, basically.
Yeah, but
especially before you can implement
But because it's a solution circle, the solution might not necessarily be in business ideas.
Yeah.
It might be in a partnership between. Like you might want to discuss how do we train people how to look after the husband and wife, or the value of marriage, or is it valuable? Uncle might say that maybe we need to discuss how to control or not control polygamy if it's practiced. So depends on the solutions where it might be. But I don't. The funny thing is, I'm using it for talking about black people, but the concept should be a work for anyone who wants to talk about anything. But obviously, I'm going to bogart it with black ideas because that's what I'm here for. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. That's literally
So who are you aiming to include in that conversation?
So in next week, so we do week by week basis. Next week, Anyone, I would say any black person is welcome to come down, but I prefer the people. Yeah, but people who actually want to actually have a constructive conversation and have interest in the topic. That's who I'll invite down, really. But that's next. I haven't got the time. I don't know. I mean, what time is good? 3, 4? I don't know.
I was gonna say just because, like, I'm not sure what time you guys got here. I get here a little bit earlier than everyone else, I think. So like around 5:30, just because I leave relatively early as well. If it's a half an hour conversation, I'll cut around 6:30 and everything.
So you're saying you want what 5 o'clock? Start. We should try to book at 5 o'clock.
If that's yeah.
All right.
I reach about 5.
So the people there. So we say, look. So next week at 5, you know, someone's going, I'm not gonna be here. Next week at 5, we want a solution circle. First one, right? We haven't even asked IC3 yet. You know, it's back. Right? But I'm sure you're with us, right?
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about the partner scheme and maybe something else. But that's the starting. And we're trying a new idea where people come round and we try to be constructive and not succumb with anxiety. Yeah. Yeah. So that's
Talking about overcoming anxiety.
yeah.
All right. Yeah. Cool.
Good. That's good.
I'd say probably doing a good thing is to like block certain people. His first resort is to go back to things that bring up anxiety.
Here's my thing to this, right? If we have a collective way of behaving, so if we're all around the circle, right, and then brother goes off on one, if all of us are saying, brother, take a walk, that means we are all telling him we're not interested in the way you're conducting yourself now. We're not kicking them out. We're saying take a walk for whatever 5 minutes. Let someone replace you, and when another seat is made available, you can come sit down.
Yeah. By anxiety.
But we don't do that.
Well, basically, when you get so enthralled with passion, of fear, or whatever it might be, that you're uncontrollable. I mean, you start repeating yourself consistently. It almost becomes a
Conversation.
yeah. You know what I mean? It happened last week with some cases. A perfect example was there was a lady who came by when we were talking with, I forgot the brother, but it was the black and white. I don't know if you were there. She was talking about Israel, and then they both lost it. Fair enough, they weren't obviously of African descent, but we don't want that to repeat when Africans come together. That kind of behavior, right? But yeah, my goal is to invite everyone, even the most kind of like outlandish of the black people. But if we have a codified way of doing it, then hopefully, and everyone has to agree that we agree to this code, and then if the majority say we have to leave, we have to leave, right? So everyone has to be in the best behavior.
I heard you saying, bro. I'll do my best to tell you what I'm saying. There's certain people that I've counted them into the ops section, and I can't say that. Like, before I was a little bit old.
Come here and talk, so because we just say they have to see you, but it's just so because you're actually testing something. You're saying you've got an idea. We have to actually stress testing, right? That's good. So tell me what you're saying. Go.
No, I'm just saying. For me,
Yeah.
I'm not about to place myself next to someone who is quite obvious and blatant and disrespectful about the ideology that I hold. I don't oppose people holding separate ideologies from me, but people that have been inflammatory in the past, intentionally inflammatory, I don't plan to ever sit with them going forward unless I can see some sort of change in their mentality.
Now,
until that point,
may I offer you some of how I've existed thus far, right? I hear what you're saying, and I completely respect that concept, right? But I'm saying that I feel that could be an emotional concept. Meaning that
it's fully emotional.
Yeah,
It's
that's
rooted.
correct,
The first thing is rooted is in emotion.
yes,
But I
and
cannot
I'm saying,
ignore my emotions
all right,
totally when
I
it comes to.
But what I'm saying, sometimes it's like we have to establish what the partnership between peoples are, right? So the people you're sitting next to, you ain't necessarily going to be going to bed with them. You're not going to be going on the train with them. You're not coming to your house for any kind of endeavor, right? Basically, it's a discussion to help people out there work on solutions that's more catered to them. Now, there's going to be someone who's anti-veganism. You might be a vegan. They think if all vegans are fools. They might be. They think that all Christians are fools, right? We can't say we agree with these concepts, but what I'm saying is this: the topic at hand will not be is veganism or whatever it might be. But even if it was, we want to be able to conduct ourselves in a way where even if you're someone who believes that what you're doing is fundamentally wrong and you're foolish for it, you can still control yourself and go, well, explain to me, really. Yeah. Now.
But I'm not even talking about that because I'm all dues for that. Someone can say to me, I believe what you believe in is totally wrong.
Yeah, but you're talking about disrespect.
I'm talking about the mannerism, the way people speak.
Well, brother, let me join in to say this, right? The reason, because I wasn't at the beginning of time, right? So when black people first came to speak on, I wasn't there. But had they have come through a certain gate, I would stop everyone and say, brother, here's how we should conduct ourselves for these reasons. So any brother who's come to you and made fun of whatever belief you have, I would have told them that how that would set us back collectively, innit? And hopefully a conversation can be had. So we have to, you see what I'm saying, right? So I'm saying, that after realizing the disharmony, I'm saying, let's come with tangible solutions. One of them is a rule-based way of dialogue. So first we have the person who comes and goes, you know what? I can say what I want. I'm going to make fun of your mum, your children, and your religion. And they think this is constructive, right? I'm saying, no. Now we're going to set a place where we don't want mum jokes, we don't want religion jokes, We want a topic, and we stay on topic, and we don't succumb to anxiety, So I'm saying that, to use the language, maybe even like a born-againism when it comes to dialogue. Right. So a born again speaker. You know what I mean? So they have a
slate white clean.
As in like, before they didn't understand certain things, they were swearing, effing and blinding. Let's be honest, right? There's many things I've told to black people, right? No names, and they've ignored it. And as time's gone by, you've seen the repercussion happen, right? That's the grand learning. Now we've learned, the best thing you can do is learn from wisdom. I mean, if someone who knows tells you, do it, that way you don't have to go through the hardship. Some people don't want to learn that way, so they've gone through the hardship, right? So I'm saying now, we've gone through the hardship, let's now have this concept. If the concept works, at least we know that we can actually bring tangible solutions to, or even like, we can make it very inviting to black people out there to come down, to talk about stuff without fear of being shot down or discriminated against and so forth, right? That's the goal. And so I'm asking you, as a well smart brother, to let's see how it goes, and then.
I mean, I'm not ruling it out. I definitely plan to attend. What I'll do first is I'll scope what the.
You have to sit down. Like I said, there's going to be 8 seats or whatever it might be, and they're going to be hopefully full up. And what happens when someone gets up, then you can take the seat. Like one of the rules is to not necessarily talk to people outside. We might have a question time where we take questions, but generally the only people who should be talking is the people in the circle. That way you won't get passers by who start going, "You're a fake," and then run off, and then someone says, right? And this is the problem. Discipline is very important, and I think one of the challenges we have in the park of the brothers and sisters is a lot of us lack discipline. So everything I do is part of a training process. So this is it. Even though we're going to try to find a solution, there's 2 things happening. We're training and we're trying to find solutions.
What do you feel the lack of discipline is down to?
Well, because there's many things, right? We're separating people that's coming from very different backgrounds. If you're raised in Islam, then you actually have a rule set that tells you what's right and wrong. If you're raised in Rastafarism, so forth, right? If you're just fresh from the streets, then you have a street kind of way of delivering stuff, right?
There's common law, isn't it? Like even the streets.
Right.
I mean, is anyone?
Well, might is right. Might is right in the streets, isn't it?
Yeah, true.
So
there's also honour and respect in the streets as well. Following out what you say to people, keeping your word.
I think
these sort of things are.
I think it's more than just background. I think also what comes into a lot of it when it comes to discipline, especially somewhere like this, is also insecurity. And one thing I'll say in the debate is you see people lose discipline the most when they're feeling insecure. So when somebody's making a point that they don't want them to make, that's when they start doing all of this and stopping them and talking the most. Do you know what I mean? Because they're insecure, they're worried about their point. When you're secure in your argument or whatever, they can say whatever they're going to say because you're going to rebuttal them. And you're confident that what you're going to say is going to trump what they have to say, or you're confident in the ability to learn from what they're saying. Do you know what I mean? Like, fair enough, actually, I didn't know that. I'm going to learn from that. But it's not just actually. It's also pride as well, isn't it? So I don't want to lose this argument, even though I'm actually learning and I could actually see it as a lesson. I'm seeing it more as they're taking away from me if I'm going to lose this. So I think there's quite a lot of different things that contribute to that lack of, in this environment anyway. But
is that something that's uniquely significant?
I think we are probably perhaps more prideful. What are you doing, man?
This guy's.
What the hell is that?
So
that's the Shia man, then, by the way.
Yeah. That's true.
People got so used to it, they're not even reacting.
I was going to say, like, nobody's even reacted to that
what
one.
we're saying today is definitely what we don't want to be doing.
People get so used to it, people are not
I
reacting.
swear to you, if you touch my bike,
You know what I mean?
bike costs too much money.
Don't watch that. Like I said, don't watch that. Distraction.
Too much money.
The way I thought I was just coming towards bad boys.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Like I said,
Is that something that's
guys,
I
they're
think
just like,
pride,
oh, okay.
possibly. With a lot more pride. I don't know. It's like, I don't know every race people. I definitely notice within our community, there's a lot of pride.
Like, don't want to be told. Don't want to be taught.
Can't tell me nothing. it's definitely.
That's we're trying to facilitate a way of communicating that breaks that down. You know what I mean? Because we're all trying to find solutions. Here we go. We're all trying to find solutions, right? So that's the idea. Like I said,
It'll be on YouTube, man.
low-level content, isn't it?
That's ridiculous, man.
No, who cares? It doesn't matter.
What was it? Yeah. Like, I agree, yeah. I agree, like, when you're saying about the conversations. Some of us, because I've been on YouTube, I've been like with American YouTube content creators, even they can't get along.
That's
Right?
right.
They can't get along. Because I was part of, do you know what the Black Manosphere is?
The Black who?
The Black
I've heard of
Manosphere.
it.
I've heard of it.
It's basically, it's an online black
Oh
YouTube.
yeah, I didn't really like it that much.
Yeah. I was part of it.
They
And I
don't really
left.
seem to like black women too much.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I pretty much pointed that out in one of my things on my YouTube channel. Yeah. The thing is like we gotta when we're having these conversations, we gotta understand that we don't know everything.
Yes.
Because sometimes we come from a place where, like, you say you know, but secretly you don't.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And we've also got to take.
That's a sign of ignorance anyway. Like,
There
the
you
person
go.
who always says, I know. The person who's always got an answer. More times, the person who's really most empty, like, to intellect and intellectual content.
That's very true.
Yeah, like, if you always know, if you always know the answer.
You can't say right.
I got, it's simple. I don't know.
And that's not a shameful thing though. If you don't know, you don't know. Just say I don't know. It's not shameful. You know, it's not shameful for you to be ignorant and try to learn. The shame comes along is when you're being taught something, right? And you're obstinate to actually learn.
That's it.
So you want to remain in your state of ignorance. That's what's the thing.
And the thing is what we got to understand with these conversations as well, is we need to like you said, like anxiety. I'm just talking about generally emotions. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to just get out of this emotional state. Because like when I talk bare times with Google Hangouts, people just get emotional over these facts and just putting me in the
I was gonna say just on that one, emotional, because I think that's another thing that adds to like a discipline is that we tend to be a lot more emotional. And maybe it's justified, right? When you think about 400 years of slavery, everything that's happened to our continent, to have someone come to your face and tell you you're a victim or whatever, it's probably gonna make you feel emotional. Do you know what I mean? But I think it's about self-mastering those emotions. Actually, if I'm not in a position to be able to self-master those emotions, I don't need to be in that place. But if someone's gonna come and tell me about your victim mentality, that could be dealt with easily intellectually. Do you know what I mean? We can intellectually explain that. But if I let my emotions become a part of this, I'm gonna lose the argument straight away. And that's what a lot more of our people need to be taught, especially when they go into conversations that are gonna be challenging to things that we actually hold dear and personally believe in.
That's why, because remember, most of us, not all, we didn't have our fathers. So the thing we understand is some of us take on some of the traits of our mothers because we don't have the masculine role in it, because it's about the feminine and the masculine. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't have
Some
a
people
father.
might have that excuse, but
Yeah.
I would say, I know African diaspora kind of differs. Like, I've been told a lot of Caribbean households are mainly mother or grandmother or extended family. Whereas I grew up with both mum and dad.
Still same thing.
And lots of my cousins and like African continental people grew up with that. But I'm saying we still both exhibit the same mannerisms at times.
I think it's to do with, I think there's a thing that even Shaka was about in terms of the idea of masculinity and femininity and our actual understandings of it in African culture, and even on the continent, as much as people like to separate the two, there was experiences on the continent that changed the cultural understanding, or even the households, do you know what I mean? So, I mean, there's a guy called Frantz Fanon who was, he used to write books, Pan-Africanist philosopher back in the day, and he moved to Algeria. He was from Martinique in the Caribbean. He moved to Algeria and he helped the Algerians with their sort of revolutionary movement against. So yeah, I'm scared of it. Finger in this area, but the revolutionary movement against the Algerian, the French in that thing basically. What he wrote about, he was like the African village. He wrote about the African village as well. And what he basically said was the African men and women here, they want to liberate themselves from the white man, yes, but not necessarily for liberation's sake. Many of the men here who want to liberate themselves so they can sit in the white man's chair. Do you know what I mean? They want to become the big man. They want to sleep with the white man's wife if possible, be in his house. So a lot of the cultures and the things they took on, especially throughout the colonial era, was because they were that was seen as being the height, do you know what I mean? That big white chief in the town was the height of being. So
they inspired to be in the white
that's it. So a lot of our cultural aspects of our understandings of masculinity and femininity and what it means to be a man, it's
that kind of skewed.
It's skewed. That's it. That's the word I was looking for. It's skewed. And so even when it comes to our emotional things, capabilities as a man, sort of thing, when you've been disempowered by the white man there, and you come home to your wife and so on and so forth, being logical and so on and so forth. No, just do what I said, because that's the same thing the white man said to you. Do you know what I mean? When you was at work, you got to do as you say when you get home. So you come home, you tell your wife the same thing, and you recreate this culture of not logically thinking actually we're two equals that could benefit and create this household. It becomes this big man culture where I'm in charge, you can't tell me nothing. Do you know what I mean? And it happens both in the Caribbean as in Africa. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. And we definitely have a lot of big man culture within both our cultures. We don't want to get told nothing. So.
That's right.
You're on the ball, mate. You're on the ball.
Yeah, like I said, to go back to your first question of why. Yeah, it's right. People come from different places, right? And yeah,
Them Arab young still.
yeah. Is it sorted?
Mind them.
He said that they will share, the shears over there.
This guy. Yeah.
Well, hopefully you're not going to talk to them guys when they're kicking somebody's ass, right?
What's that?
I said, hopefully you're not going to talk to them when they're kicking somebody's ass, right?
I ain't getting involved. I ain't taking a bullet.
As soon as I saw that kicked off, I was walking that way. I was going that way.
I watched them, man. It's all for show. Yeah, but what I'm saying, brother, we haven't actually agreed to anything or trained at all, right? So people are just coming fresh from where they're coming from, and that's what you're getting. You know what I mean? But saying that, if you ever were insulted by someone's mannerisms towards you, right? I don't know what the situation might be, but I'm assuming that maybe it's Islamic based, maybe, I don't know. Let's say, right, as in like, let's say, right, that could be a solution topic. Like, you go, look, I'm from this faith, you're from this faith, how do we coexist in the park or in society without insulting each other? And is there a value in that? And then we can actually discuss the step-by-step solution of how that can be achieved.
Try at least.
If that person's rational.
Try at least, yeah.
Well,
If that person has a rational solution,
That's it.
you could very well bring up the conversation. And
yeah,
that's more
but
of the same
here's what it is. You'll be there, the brother will be there, but there'll be like 7 other people around who are going to chip in. And they're going to see that, you know what, this brother here is constantly going on the whatever. I mean, we're trying to create a forum where you can actually have a start, middle, and conversation without going, yeah, but look at your hair, yeah, but look at your shoes. Do you know what I mean? That's the problem, isn't it?
You know what's funny? Not funny, but it's kind of, I say funny, but it's sad.
It is sad.
Certain people have reached a big age,
Yeah.
and then they resort to talk like this. I don't get it. My heart and head cannot fathom how someone can be in their mid-30s, going into their 40s, or even in their 40s,
50s,
going
yeah.
later, right? And not be able to have a conversation where they don't resort to cussing them.
If they've never been taught, how do they know?
I would think the best teacher in life is experience.
Yeah.
If you're 45 and you still can't have a reasonable conversation with someone, what have you been doing for your life?
Like I said, if someone is disruptive in this concept we're coming up with, right, then we all can connect amongst the league. But they have the right to be heard, and they have the right to follow the rules that we're going to set.
And I think to some extent, doing it that way, it helps because now that person has to hear they're wrong from 7 different voices and so on and so
That's
forth.
what you're saying is so important.
100%. I think when we're saying about experiences, if somebody is able to twist the experience in their mind to where they were right all the time, then that's what they learn from their experience, you know what I mean? And there's a lot of people at the time who will have a yes man around them or have background, or just be so gassed in their own self-confidence that they're able just to always convince themselves. And there'll be other people who have a bit more self-honesty or a bit more harsh on themselves, who reflect them like, I reckon myself more like Grant, like it would take some time to actually maybe what I did there wasn't right, do you know what I mean? Whereas other people, I don't know, you just understand it.
Now add to that, I think we're talking about collective power, right? Now we're all here, we've all done something week to week, we've got used to it, yeah, we've built a community around it. All of a sudden, some new person comes in, and they want to come in, they just want to start effing them blind, whatever it might be, right? The fact that we're all collectively on the same page, we go, are you okay, brother? None of us are going to go off and try to like this is back. You know what I mean? We're going to go, brother. Here's the rules. We're going to talk in unison. Yeah, you feel mad awkward, isn't it? Yeah, that's the science.
It is.
Yeah, but what was it? Yeah, but
What's it? Critical mass.
Yeah.
And everyone just stays silent.
Yeah. Imagine that's what I'm saying, bro. Show me when you see that happen.
No, but that is somebody who is generally mentally.
No, there was a brother, there was a Muslim brother who's come to support, and he doesn't anymore.
Okay.
And I thought he was nuts for a long time until I met him outside of the park and I realised that's the actor. But he used to whine out in the park all the time, and all the brothers used to tell him fix up. That never seemed that made them worse. But when people started ignoring him.
Yeah, but when he was whining out to someone, whining out back, right? He would have said something that someone else went back. So we're talking about a circle with 7 seats, 8 seats, and then one person managed to sit down somehow, and they're effing and blowing whatever, right? Yeah, doesn't matter. Yeah, even from outside, we just carry on. Just look, on code, when those guys start doing whatever they were doing, we just carry on. Yeah. So anyway, how's your mum? She's good, blah, blah, you know what I mean? Yeah, and as long as they don't touch the persons, do what you want, innit? We don't care. Yeah, that's the kind of discipline we need. Discipline's so important, bro. I think black people collectively, one of the things we really fall down on is discipline. Bro, discipline is why we're in other people practicing discipline is why we are where we are today. 100%. That's just what it is, isn't it? So hopefully next week, Solution Circle, 5 o'clock, yeah? Leon, 5 o'clock next week, that's the goal. All the brothers come down, all the sisters come down to it. That's what we want. I've talked to
At the same time when them and talking.
Who?
Nation.
How is it?
What is it?
They say one nation. I'm saying there might be a few brothers who want to watch the nation.
I was talking about being respectful, so let me be respectful.
Yeah.
You just come here and do what you say.
Yeah, I mean, of course.
No, I don't mean one nation, but I mean as for
You can express your disagreement
Yeah.
in a respectable
For
manner.
what?
no, when I'm at fun, I just meant our team is more important.
Right, okay. Well, the goal is.
In a manner that's respectable. You're still raising your points.
Yeah.
You get more respect for your team. Really.
But also, more so, the members from the nation, if we've got a thing going, they're welcome to come and add their 10 pence piece, isn't it? Every black person who comes is welcome to come, because we're creating a forum that make that, like I said, the forum we create should be more interesting than a place where people just shout and scream at each other, which is what they go through generally when they speak, right? So we're trying to create that kind of platform. Yeah, that's the idea. That's a wrap, man. Next week, Solution Circle, 5 o'clock. What? We're saying 5.
5 will be here from 3 or something. If you can get down there for 3, just enough people around them time then it'll be good.
So look at this, from 3 to 5. Now,
I'll be here from around 2-ish.
Yeah, okay. 3 to 5.
Because like I said, there might be people who want to watch the nation.
No. I want to watch Nation. I want to watch Nation.
They talk about solution building as well, you get me?
Yeah.
Talk about some solutions. What solutions?
The solutions they talk about solutions of the mind, didn't they? And regardless of whether you agree with it, they talk about having a black first mentality, as in black people thinking as a collective, right? That's very important. The thing is,
What makes them different to other black people?
even technically, well, they'll have to defend themselves better than I can, right?
I don't want to put you in that spot again, actually.
No, you can, but here's what it is. You tend to find that, and I'm not saying it's you, and it's not across the board. A lot of the disagreements that I notice that they should go through isn't necessarily one about if they love black people, it's their religious beliefs. And it tends to come from the Sunni collective, because obviously Sunnis are trained to if something it's slightly different.
There's a clear creed of
Right.
I mean, that might be exacerbated by the fact that some people believe that they're supremacists. But for me as a black Muslim, the black love, the black family is not a thing. It's not black. That's not my point of dispute. My point of dispute is more the fact that they come in the guise of what they say are Muslim, but they're not that of a Muslim.
The thing is, the neighbours of Islam, they have never ever claimed to be Sunni Muslim.
No, but they claim to be Muslim.
Yeah, but then the Shia claim to be Muslim, and all the others.
And we will throw out like 3/4 of them and say that they're not.
Yeah, okay, and you know what? you can say that these guys are not Sunni Muslims. No one can argue or not argue. That's a religious conversation, right? But the train I'm trying to give you is black people are going through hell no matter which they go, right? And we're trying to find a solution. And some people say, you know what? When a man becomes religion, their program becomes so bad because they can't look past it, right? And I say, no, that's not. Uncle Danjuma, he can see right past that, right? He understands that I might be Sunni, they might be this, but there's a similar thing we're going through that we have to work through. And the train I'm trying to give to brothers like you is to look past that. So yeah,
well, I've been doing that. It's not like I wouldn't stand in a circle and chat to someone from Malaysia. And I recognise the work that they do in places like Chicago and other places. My issue with them is it's only a creedal one.
Yeah,
it's not about,
and that's normal. That's the same thing with talking about. Yeah. So I'm saying, that kind of conversation, do that respectfully. Like, here's what I believe. Can we use the scripture to prove it, right? That's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is when people sabotage progress because of it. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to stand next to them or when they're talking, they're heckling, these kind of things. I don't think that's constructive because usually when the nation are here, they're talking about black solutions. Don't they say talking? They're using like Islam and Christianity as a reference of how to achieve black solutions.
Are they actually talking? Are they having discussions or are they just dictating?
Well, if they're on the pulpit, or whatever, then they're talking, right? But before you came, they were talking here. Before you came, yeah. So, like what I'm saying is, the goal I'll give you is try to look at these brothers as brothers in the sense of maybe not in the faith, but definitely in the experience. Like the brother Yahya was saying something before that. He said something like, if an ant can't pick up sugar, he's not an ant, innit? And if a wasp can't fly, he's not a wasp, right? And I think this is a good analogy when it comes to like black people. When like you're going through a collective hardship, right? And the basic fundamentals have to get out of it. It's the basic fundamentals. And if we start looking past it because of religious or sexual or all this kind of stuff, differences, it's like we're not performing the basic fundamentals of a surviving human.
Sorry.
Go ahead, man.
When the fly can't pick up something,
The ant.
the ants can't pick up something. Why is that?
But what they're saying is that if an ant can't pick up a sugar, is what they're saying, then he can no longer actually feed the colony and perform his basic duty as an ant. They're saying if a black person doesn't recognize the challenge they're going through and come together to form solutions, then you're not practicing the basic fundamental functions of a black human being, or a human being.
Why
Go ahead.
is that ants got to pick up that thing? Why can't he pick up something else?
Well, I think the sugar was fine, but I think it's an analogy, so I think it's more so like it could be.
That analogy is not correct.
Oh, go ahead.
Why does it have to be something so heavy that the ant can't pick it up?
No, brother. Yeah,
If the ant is a carrier, that's what it decides to do. If
The ant doesn't carry something that's above it.
No, but the things that the ant carries is things that are for its own sustenance.
Yeah.
And normally other ants can carry. So if one ant can't carry what every other ant can carry, then it's not fulfilling the same function that every other ant is doing. Therefore, it's a deficient ant.
No, every ant practices that same thing, the colony doesn't get fed. Now, the reason why black people are in a collective condition is because we're not doing things that is a basic, so other people groups recognize these basic stuff. Black people, for some reason...
Other recognise what we're doing wrong.
No. Other people groups recognize the basic functionality of how to survive day to day. In a level of ease, a certain level of ease. Most black people collectively are not recognizing this. So the goal is to train black people how to recognize these concepts. How to have your basic needs pushed forward. Like, how do you look at your basic needs first? So if you're in a place where it's not the best situation you're in, your fundamental goal should be to how to get out of it. And how to look on the collective to get out of it, right?
So that's through what factors do you need? What faculties do you need to get out of this thing?
Yeah, so one of the things we're saying is things like, okay, we recognise that maybe economically, for example, we're not doing good. So we need to start controlling businesses. Some say, okay, but then you might need to be self-educated. Then they might say, well, what are they being educated? If they've been educated a certain type of education, then they might not then come back to the black community. They might go somewhere else. So it's like, teaching black history, black heroes, black businesses, black first analogies. So these concepts are basically what people are pushing forward. And if you're not doing that, then the analogy is you're like an ant who's not picking up sugar, or you're like a fly that can't fly. It's an analogy, bro. It's not.
No.
Yeah.
I just didn't grasp the concept.
Yeah. But you're getting it now.
I'm getting it, but I still think it's kind of
Why don't you give one? If you give one now, let's use the one you give. Can you think of one? That can.
So I'm coming from the perspective where
Like, I'm looking at all these
critically,
like BBC.
as an ant,
Like a media
pick that up. It's too heavy.
Right.
Let me try something different, a little less heavy.
Right. So I think what it is it's more so like it's not necessarily that the ant can't pick up something that's heavy. It's not picking up anything.
Anything.
That's the
But
concept.
there I did not see.
That's the concept. So
Yeah.
now we have solution there. So what
You just try to pick something heavy up.
it's not picking anything up.
It's not picking
So
there. I didn't get.
So you have 1,000 ants.
Yes.
And there's sugar over there. There's the coconut, whatever the ants want to eat. And they're just like, you know what, I'm going to do it. Well, that analogy is like black people realize, you know what, we're not going to educate ourselves. We're not going to get jobs. We're not going to marry women. We're not going to do stuff. We're just going to do whatever is fun and cool, and everything will fix itself. Like ant. Yeah, I'm sure someone else will pick up the sugar. The bees will pick it up.
Are you saying black people do this?
Collectively. Individually, not so much. So individually, you're going to get black people do wonderful things for themselves and so forth. But on a collective nature, no.
Are all collective cultures
Yes.
the same?
They're not, but what we do is we see a disparity and we see certain cultures practicing that basic root of betterment, much more consistency in the black collective. And we're going to use London as an example.
Due to what factor?
Due to the fact that, well, it's history, isn't it? It's history of, yeah, the history.
And we just come out of slavery
Very true.
recently.
Very recent,
It's
yeah.
going to take a little bit of time.
But by recognizing that challenge, we can actually try to speed the process.
Can you?
Yes.
Isn't it like an evolutionary slow process?
No. It could be much more faster. You can learn something in one generation. In one generation, you can change a way of thinking.
Oppression in the societies has taken a while to do, especially 500-600 years of it.
Right.
I think we've done particularly well,
Like I said, I can't.
relatively.
I think there is lots of work that's been done, and we celebrate the progress being made. But from where I see where black people could be, I think there's much more work to be done.
Definitely.
So even the basic concept of unity, we've struggled to achieve it. The basic. I just bought this proud black thing for the nation. Right? Well, that's being proud of black and
So when I tried to speak to them, they pushed me away.
Well, I wasn't there, but I can't speak for them.
No.
But yeah.
I said I'm a little bit confused with your ideology, and can you explain to me? No.
Right. Okay.
What do you mean no? I'm asking for information. Go away.
Well, I wasn't there, but
Yeah, I understand. But it was what?
Right.
I said to them, have you been brainwashed? Is it? Yeah, I have. Huh? That's the nation of the Black Brat. What's going on?
Well, here's what it is. We're starting a solution circle where we can try to find solutions. So maybe that could be a topic that we bring up. I wasn't there.
Yeah, are you part of it?
No.
No.
But maybe that's a topic of.
Wow.
I wasn't there, but
That's rude, no?
from how you describe it, it does. But then once again, the only thing I can't defend people who's not here.
No problem.
But what I can say is, from how people normally treat them, it usually gets very hostile. So I assume that wasn't their mind, but they can defend themselves better.
They were hostile.
Right. I can't say.
I did not attack them. I asked them a question.
I'm
They
more-
did not want to answer.
Yeah. So I'm more than happy to facilitate conversation with you and them if ever needed. Because I wasn't there, I can't describe what
Like
happened.
I just said, have you been to Hyde Park before? This is open forum, no? Did not. We haven't come here to debate. We come here to look around.
Well,
Mafia.
right. I mean, I don't know. But if I'm around, then hopefully I can help facilitate in future, but I wasn't there. Sorry.
Like I'm speaking to you now. Is that I want to be spoken to? It's respectful or not?
Yeah, I mean, I can't speak for others.
I know. Well, that's the first time I've kind of
Yeah.
in Hyde Park. I've spoken before.
Right.
But,
Do you need the camera?
I'm just seeing if it's been.
Is it still recording? Cool. Well, bro, that was your question, bro. You understand the analogy now, yeah?
It's a failure. You get what I'm saying?
I understand where you're coming from.
Right.
I don't think you're correct.
Okay, well, that's fine. You think that black people are doing collectively okay, and we're doing what we should mostly be doing for betterment amongst the black people?
In recent history, where we just come from, I think we're doing fantastic.
Right. Can you tell me what is the most fantastic thing you think we're doing?
We've got businesses.
What business do we have, by the way?
That's why they can so easily descend into chaos.
businesses? I'm in construction.
Okay, so your business?
It's my business.
And do you hire loads of black people working?
I hire the best person for the job.
Okay, so you're demonstrating what I'm saying. The fact that black people are not by what you're saying are not the best person for the job shows there needs to be betterment in training them to be the best person for the job. So you, as someone who owns a business, can hire them. Does that make sense?
I want the best person for the job, regardless of colour. I will help my black brothers, but I don't see a willing to work.
So would you say that's a problem with black people then?
An absolute problem.
Okay. So there is an issue then.
There's a terrible issue, a chip on shoulder.
Right, so that's a problem that needs fixing, isn't it? Right, so when you start by saying there isn't a problem we're doing well, what you mean is we could be doing much more better.
We could be doing 100 times better due to work ethic.
Right, so fixing the work ethic. So the analogy of the ant not picking up the sugar at all is similar to the workers that you've just described, right?
I think it starts when you're young.
Right, so then education is important, teaching them young. So, yes.
And schooling.
Yeah, so schooling that teaches them the value of being black driven, as in looking out for black people, trying to fix black people because no one else is doing it.
No,
not doing that. Yeah.
we live on the earth, and you have to be somewhere. You have to work hard.
Right.
You have to compete with the next person.
Yes, very true.
You have to gain further intelligence and knowledge.
Yes.
Not fuck about in school. Not disrespect your elders.
Yes, that's very true.
Critical thinking.
100%.
All of the above.
So I'm very plain in what I say in the sense of if black people don't articulate and be dedicated to trying to fix black issues, being a black person, helping black people on black issues, then the change won't happen, and the slow progress that you're seeing will continue. Now, what I've identified is other people groups do it much more better than this. So whether they're Asian or however they identify, Asian, Jewish, Chinese, they practice this concept much more.
There's a cultural difference.
Yeah, so but culture is something to do, isn't it? And we can do this.
There's a way we bring our young up. It's different to the Chinese. The family orientation.
Yeah, so we're trying to change that.
I live in Finland, I live in Italy. I've been out to Jamaica. There's a difference.
So we have to fix it.
We've been fractured through slavery.
That's right.
It's going to take time.
That's why you have to confess. So when the Jews went through the Holocaust, they confessed to themselves, you know what, we have to help Jews get out of the situation. We're always going to be persecuted. Black people have to do the same. I appreciate the kindness of your heart by saying, you want to hire the best person for the job. And to an extent that makes sense. If you want your plumbing fixed and your black neighbour cannot do it, then you go to whoever else. But I'm saying your first point of reference is, can I find a black plumber who can fix my sink? Well, what I love about this conversation is you are the embodiment of what I'm trying to fix, because when you come here, you're going to say black people are doing great, and then when you talk, everything you say doesn't sound great, and then when you talk about how you live your day-to-day life, you are contributing to why I observe why black people are not doing it. Because you will not confess in yourself, and you will actually go out and make an effort to help black people in these areas. Does that make sense?
And again, the black person has to help himself.
Yes, but you are the person that's helped yourself. You have to help yourself to be black betterment led, meaning that you are going to be dedicated to trying to help black people. So when you want a plumber, you're going to actually look for a plumber. If you can't find a black plumber who's good enough, then then you go to wherever else you can find. Of course not. Well, and that's the challenge that I face.
So I'm sorry.
And what's good about what you're saying is you are black people. So even though you're here as a single person, your
I
mindset.
am embodiment
Yes,
of a black person.
of course, and that's what I'm trying to
So
fix.
when I worked
Yes.
at Westfield,
Yes.
and I'm the only black manager there,
That's right.
it's a 40.
Yes.
I have to be number one. I have to set an example.
My job is to make sure you're not the only one, meaning you'll be in a black establishment where everyone is of a similar ilk and they all think alike. So it's good that you made it through, but you're like Oprah Winfrey, isn't it? It's like one good millionaire is great, but if the one good millionaire isn't necessarily doing anything to help black people, then it's just around the applause. It's a symbolic victory, isn't it?
Well, no, I'm helping, as in I'm showing you, I'm demonstrating
Yes.
that a black person can
Symbolic,
make it.
yeah, and
it's a symbolic.
Yeah, and that's good.
And watch what I do,
So
and don't
you're-
be coming in
Yes.
because that's not the way to do it.
Yeah, so we agree that being untrained, rude and destructive isn't the best way to maintain any kind of financial structure. So this part of the training, but the next part of the training is for people like yourself who's made it through to actually look to see who you can bring through. So obviously not to focus on the person who's got his pants down, swearing and smoking whatever they're smoking. So actually look for the person who's not doing
Black or white, I don't care.
Well, actually, once again, I'm trying to train you. That because of the system we're in and other people practice a certain way, if you're not actively looking for a black person, then you are not going to find it. But here's why. If you're in a system, right, where the majority of people who are successful are, say, Chinese and white, and you say, I'm only going to hire a person who's successful. Well, because for whatever happened, the black people are not actually actively there in the masses, you're always going to get the white and Chinese. So that means the statistics will never change. So you have to actually try to find a black person who's doing good. So you have to join networks to actually look for these kind of plumbers or workers. Does that make sense, bro?
It does make sense.
Okay.
So my problem is media and the rap game and the music industry.
But a plumber shouldn't be, a rapping plumber isn't really your concern.
What I'm saying, their images,
Yes,
what they see, the bling,
right,
and how they achieve,
yes,
and the misogyny of women and
yes.
fast cars and all that.
This
Yeah?
has to be trained. So it's a holistic grand change, meaning that
Stereotype.
Of course. So what we're saying is, if we train people to love themselves, love black people, they're not going to want to demote and degrade women because you love black people. If we train black men to love black women and marry them, then you're never going to try to do things that might actually undermine them, right? But also, we're teaching them to write about if you're going to write a book, write about Mansa Musa or Tahaka, or great black people who do wonderful things or just powerful in some way. And that way, people are now influenced by constructive black people. So when they do make their music, they'll be rapping about those topics and not
Precisely.
Yes, it's a holistic change, isn't it? It will have to change, but it starts with people like yourself, people like myself, who once we get through, we actually look back to pull people through. But we're not going to pull back the rapper who's half naked, smoking whether they're smoking. It's not for them.
There's a lot of those.
Yes, but we have to look past those and look for the constructive person. Not every black person is in skin-tight jeans, rapping on the TV, doing the split.
You, the ones who are stereotyping the black.
Well, once again, so the next thing is if you're always trying to be black orientated, that means if you start a black media company, you're actually looking for other black people, so you're going to always have black content. If you're trying to be constructive, you're always going to be playing constructive content. That way, it's going to fill out by osmosis and train people, right? That's the concept, the basic concept. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So, when you're talking about collective development, you should never be looking at the most debased, non-correct person to base it upon. You want to look at the most correct person and base it there. And you want to actually look at those kind of people and not the people who undermine the community as a whole.
Very difficult.
Very challenging, but that's why we have to have philosophy and concept. And that's why that's why when I meet brothers like you, I try to show you that rather than accepting slow growth and then ignoring black people who are doing well, to actually try to be part of a collective movement that's actually looking for righteous black people to put in the foreground to represent others.
Sorry.
Does that make sense?
It does make sense, but what I see is the religiosity of the black community who have been indoctrinated
Yes.
and brainwashed
Okay. Yeah,
through superstition and ignorance.
well, yes. Once again, so the collectives I run, we don't necessarily talk about religious stuff. We talk about solution and better. So, whatever religion you are, you're welcome to join. Whether you're Christian, atheist, Muslim, Buddhist.
I get that.
Yeah, what I'm trying to train the black people to do is to not sit in a circle arguing about how black was Jesus, and does he exist, and was Muhammad a prophet? Yes, but and that's a person's freedom. So if people enjoy doing that, they'll do that. However, when it comes to betterment work is free from that concept. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm all about keeping that out.
People in power dictate. When I get in power, if I ever get in power, I will have a betterment-led concept. So arguing over how black was Jesus isn't necessary.
Freedom from religion.
Well, freedom to practice religion or not practice religion is the goal. So if you as a person who find value in religion, practice. If you find no value in it, don't practice.
Subjective, keep it personal, behind closed doors.
Well, you can be open about religion, but you cannot oppress other people. That's slow down, young man. That's slow down progress.
No oppression, but those views, keep to yourself.
Well, if some religious people, because of their religion, they feel that it's doing them good wonders and they want to spread that good wonders to others, that's fine. It's when you oppress people because of that's the issue.
Not even the oppression. What about the evangelism?
Well, if you wanna convert people to your way of life, that's fine. It's where you force people, or you limit what people can do if they're not part of your religion. That might be problematic. So what's your name, brother?
Charles.
Charles, good to meet you, Charles.
Raymond.
Raven. The bird, the black bird. Very smart, very black bird.
Take care.
Have a safe, bro. All right, that's a wrap. So from 3 to 5 next week Sunday, we're starting the Solution Circle. And we invite all the black intellectuals guys to come down and talk. Leave a message in the group to see if you want to come up with any ideas. But we should be talking about the partner system and black banking next week. And we're going to try the primary goal. The primary goal is to actually have a solution-based forum where people can come to. And the secondary goal is to actually train black people, or people in general, but train black people for that time, how to have conduct themselves without arguing, fighting, but being stern and correct. Kind of like how I was trying to do just then. Peace. Where's the brother? Turn the thing.
Come take over everything from your melody.
Come, man, say it straight. Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to ITV. Listen. Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to ITV. I don't even listen to Sky YG. I just listen to COE. Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to ITV. I don't even listen to Sky YG. Man, don't listen to COE. Man, just listen to COE.